Life can get so busy, can't it? Between work, family, and the endless to-do lists, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But amidst all the hustle and bustle, there's a gentle whisper calling out to us, a divine invitation to pause, breathe, and reconnect with the one who loves us most. Today, let's take a moment to explore why connecting with God every day isn't just a nice idea. It's the lifeline our souls desperately need. Remember the story of David? He wasn't just a king. He was a shepherd boy who became a man after God's own heart. Despite his flaws and failures, David had this incredible habit of seeking God daily. In the Psalms, he writes, "O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you." Psalm 63 verse 1. Can you feel the depth of his yearning? It's like his entire being longed for God's presence as desperately as a parched land longs for rain. Imagine being in a desert, the sun blazing down, your throat dry, every step harder than the last. Then, suddenly you find an oasis, a place of refreshment and rest. That's what daily connection with God does for our weary souls. It refreshes us, fills us up, and gives us the strength to keep going. In our modern world, we might not be battling giants like David did, but we face our own Goliaths: stress, anxiety, loneliness. A friend of mine once shared how she felt utterly lost after losing her job. Each day seemed darker than the last. But then she decided to spend just a few minutes each morning reading a psalm and praying. It wasn't an instant fix, but over time, she found peace that didn't make sense given her circumstances. She said it was like a weight had been lifted, and new opportunities began to open up. That daily connection made all the difference. Then there's Daniel, a man who knew the power of daily communion with God. Even when a decree was issued that anyone caught praying would be thrown into the lion's den, Daniel didn't waver. He continued his practice of praying 3 times a day, windows open, facing Jerusalem, Daniel 6 verse 10. His unwavering commitment not only saved him from the lions but also became a powerful testimony to a pagan king. Think about that. Daniel's consistent connection with God didn't just impact his own life. It influenced an entire nation. Similarly, our daily interactions with God can ripple out, touching the lives of those around us in ways we might never realize. I recall hearing about a teacher who started her day with a simple prayer for wisdom and patience. Working in a challenging school environment, she often felt drained, but that daily moment with God became her anchor. Her students noticed the change, a newfound calmness and kindness, and it transformed the atmosphere of her classroom. Parents began to express gratitude, not knowing the secret behind her renewed energy. It was that daily divine connection making all the difference. Proverbs tells us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. Submitting to God in all our ways means inviting him into every part of our day, the big decisions and the small moments. It's about acknowledging that we can't do it all on our own, and that's okay. But how do we make this practical? How do we, in the midst of our busy lives, find time to connect with God daily? Firstly, start small. It doesn't have to be hours of prayer or reading entire chapters of the Bible in one sitting. Maybe it's 5 minutes in the morning, thanking God for a new day. Perhaps it's listening to a worship song during your commute, letting the words sink deep into your heart. Secondly, integrate prayer into your daily activities. While washing dishes, you might pray for your family. During a walk, You could marvel at God's creation and express gratitude. It's about making God a part of every moment, not just reserved times. Jesus himself modeled this for us. Despite the demands of his ministry, he often withdrew to lonely places to pray, Luke 5 verse 16. If the Son of God needed that daily connection, how much more do we? There's a beautiful promise in Lamentations. Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23. Every morning brings new mercies, a fresh start, an opportunity to draw near to God once again. I remember a story about a man who began journaling his prayers each night before bed. At first, it felt awkward, but over time, it became the highlight of his day. Looking back through his journal, he could see how God had been faithful, answering prayers in ways he hadn't expected. It strengthened his faith and deepened his relationship with God. In the chaos of life, connecting with God daily anchors us. It's like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season and whose leaf does not wither. Psalm 1 verse 3. No matter what storms come our way, we remain steadfast because our roots go deep into the source of life. Perhaps you're feeling distant from God right now. Maybe it's been a while since you've had a real conversation with him. The beautiful thing is, God is always ready to meet us right where we are. James 4 verse 8 encourages us, draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. It's a promise. When we take even a small step toward him, he comes running to embrace us. Consider setting aside a specific time each day dedicated to God. Could be first thing in the morning when the world is still quiet, or in the evening as you reflect on your day. Use that time to read a passage of scripture, pray, or simply sit in silence, listening for his voice. Technology can even be a tool to help us. There are countless apps that offer daily verses, devotional readings, or guided prayers. Setting a daily reminder can prompt us to pause and refocus our hearts. Let's not forget the importance of community. Sharing our journey with others can enrich our daily connection with God. Joining a small group, attending a Bible study, or simply having a trusted friend to talk with can provide encouragement and accountability. Think about the early church in Acts. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship, to the breaking of bread and to prayer, Acts 2 verse 42. Their daily practices weren't burdensome tasks, but joyous opportunities to experience God's presence together. In our individualistic society, we might feel like we have to go it alone, but we were created for relationship with God and with each other. As we pursue daily connection with him, let's also reach out to those around us, offering support and companionship on the journey. Let's circle back to the heart of the matter. Why is connecting with God every day so vital? Because it's in his presence that we find fullness of joy. Psalm 16 verse 11. It's where we receive guidance, healing, and the assurance that we are loved beyond measure. Life will always have its challenges. There will be days when we feel on top of the world and days when we struggle to get out of bed. But when we make it a habit to connect with God daily, we tap into a source of strength and peace that transcends our circumstances. Think of it like charging your phone. If you don't plug it in regularly, the battery dies and it's no longer useful. Similarly, our spirits need to be recharged by God's power to navigate life's demands effectively. As we come to a close, I want to leave you with this uplifting thought. God's arms are always open wide. Every day is a new opportunity to step into His embrace, to hear His voice, and to align our hearts with His. No matter where you are on your journey, whether you've been walking with God for years or are just beginning to explore faith, He's inviting you into a deeper relationship. He's whispering, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11 verse 28. So let's accept that invitation. Let's make a conscious choice each day to turn our hearts toward heaven, to seek His face, and to listen for His guidance. Let's be like the branches abiding in the vine, for apart from Him, we can do nothing. John 15 verse 5. Imagine the transformation that could happen in our lives, our families, our communities, if we all committed to connecting with God daily. The possibilities are endless because we serve a God who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine. Ephesians 3 verse 20. Today is the day to start anew. Let's open our hearts, lift our eyes, and reach out to the one who has been reaching out to us all along. Let's embrace the abundant life He offers, one day at a time, one moment at a time. May you be encouraged, may you be inspired, and may your daily walk with God bring you peace, joy, and fulfillment beyond measure. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. The Creator of the universe desires to walk with you, guide you, and fill you with His everlasting love. So, let's take that step today. Let's connect with God and watch as He transforms our ordinary moments into extraordinary testimonies of His grace and goodness.